This is the plaintiff, Kenneth Mendez. He's a New Jersey state arborist and was hired to remove some trees from the defendant's property in December of 2019. He had to apply for permits, and the township prevented him from removing some of the trees the defendant wanted cleared because they were located on wetlands. He's forbidden by the state to disturb wetlands. He did the rest of the tree work, and in the 10 years he's been doing work for the defendant, she never refused to pay him. He's suing for $2,000, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Caroline. She says she never officially hired the plaintiff to remove her trees. She simply asked him for an estimate. He informed her she would need permits for the job, and then he went ahead and applied for the permits. And once they were approved, he went ahead and just started chopping down trees while she was on vacation. She refuses to pay. She's being intimidated by the plaintiff and his wife, and now she lives hiding in her house with her windows boarded up. She's accused of trimming a tree guy. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,500 for tree and stump removal.
All parties, please your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff claims that he was hired by the defendant to clear some trees off her property, and she stiffed him. But the defendant says all she asked for was an estimate, and the guy went ahead and chopped her trees down without her consent. It's the case of trimming a tree guy.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
All righty. Okay, Mr. Mendez, you are an arborist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Ms. Caroline has been a customer of yours for how long?
For like at least 10 years, maybe even a little bit longer.
So Ms. Caroline, you live on a property where part of your property are designated wetlands. Is that correct?
That is correct, but not all of that area was designated as wetland.
Okay, so you decided that you wanted some tree trimming done and you hired him. Tell me what happened. You asked him to do what?
There were some trees that have been leaning dangerously towards my property and wanted to cut down those trees. So I called. So
that I understand, I have some pictures, and what I'm trying to understand is, are they beyond your fence, but it's still your property? Is that it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. So here's a picture of some small trees that are on your side of the fence, right? And you wanted those gone, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you own the stuff beyond the white fence. And there used to be trees here, but you don't have a picture of it before he did the work. Now, according to you, she hired you and asked you to get a permit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mendez, and did you?
Yes. I have a signed contract
happened?
from her. Then we went, in fact...
You have a signed... Hold on one second. You just said you had a signed contract from her. Did you give that to us in evidence?
Yes, I did. And I have a copy.
Hold on one moment. Okay. Now, Ms. Caroline, you had said all over your answer to the complaint that you never hired him.
Yes, Your Honor. I never hired him. I requested
Well,
for
then
him
why
to
is
come over.
there's a signed contract? Have you seen this document? Take a look at that document. Is that your...
That is my signature, but that's not on the contract. He superimposed that signature onto that contract. I have the original of the contract, which you would see that my signature is not on there, and also a date to cut the trees are not on there. I submitted those in evidence.
How did he superimpose your signature on there?
My signature was on the permit, the application of the permit.
Okay, that sounds a little out there. Okay, so you say you never hired him because what? You were still shopping around? Because I'm not understanding. Why is he getting you a permit if you didn't hire him?
He brought the permit to me, blank form.
Okay, stop. Why is this guy who you didn't hire bringing you a permit? If you didn't hire him, how is he getting a permit?
The township newly now put that policy that we now have to get permit. We never had permits before.
Okay, no, I know why you want one. I'm asking you why a guy would get you a permit for free when he hasn't even been hired. Contractors don't get permits until you hire them. So why would he bother getting you your permit if you didn't hire him? Of course you hired him. I see it in your texts.
The process is that once you want the tree cut, you will fill out the permit and pay the $35.
Ms. Caroline,
Yes.
Ms. Caroline,
yes.
I need you to listen to what I'm asking you. Did you hire him, yes or no?
I did not hire him.
Okay. Then please tell me the following. If you didn't hire him, why is he getting a permit on your behalf? I am not asking you why you would want somebody to get you a free permit. I'm asking you, what logic does it make? What kind of sense are you making that a contractor is going to waste his time if you didn't hire him going and getting you the permit that you now need? It doesn't make sense. I'll tell you what else doesn't make sense. There's a signed contract with your signature on it, and you're telling me that through some kind of voodoo magic, he superimposed it on there. That doesn't make sense either. And not only that, I'll tell you what else matters to me. In the text, when he's talking back and forth with you about getting the permit, you're like, yeah, that sounds great. Why are you telling somebody you haven't hired that? Because it's all over your text. So you hired him, okay? You hired him. What did she hire you to do?
To remove the trees behind the fence, which was in a wetland area. And even on the, if I could show you, on actually the permit, it's right in the yellow. It will actually tell you that we cannot remove anything from the back. We can only drop everything and leave it there. And that's in all wetlands in New Jersey. You cannot even remove a leaf. And I could lose my license.
Did you tell her that? Did you tell her that? So the notation on the bottom is from the inspector?
Yes.
Okay, so so you tell her I'm just going to chop the trees down and it's going to look like garbage, because it really does. I mean, I've looked at the pictures and the pictures really look terrible.
Yeah. She actually talked to Leo, the forester of the township. So she knew that all
and
the wood
Leo
would have to stay.
told her the stumps can't move and all the wood has to stay.
Nothing.
Tell me what Leo told you, Ms. Caroline. What did Leo tell you?
Mr. Leo came to my property. He realized that those trees were leaning. A lot of them were leaning. And he said, no problem, that I should cut everything down and make sure that I remove all those brushes, but not, there is a little swamp there, but not to block the swamp. That's all he said.
Okay. I'm looking at all the debris you left behind. Let's take a look at this picture, because this is really not, I mean, if I'm a homeowner, I really wouldn't want that to happen. Now, you're telling me she signed that contract and that language was in there and it's right on the permit. Did you see the permit? Ms. Caroline, did you see your permit that has a notation by the inspector?
I never saw the permit. They were supposed to mail me the permit, but he went over there to collect the permit because his office.
Did you ever show her the permit, Mr. Mendez?
Yes, because you cannot remove nothing in the wetlands, dead or alive. You could, she was lucky that they allowed her.
Why can't? Here's what I'm not understanding. Usually the deal is that you can remove it so long as you don't affect the ecosystem, so long as you don't disturb the wetlands. So I'm not understanding why you have to leave it exactly where it is. Why are they saying that? And I do see that is precisely what the fellow wrote on the bottom of the thing.
You have to. It's state law. I could lose my license, especially now that we're
Can you show me the state law that says that you can't move it? Show me the state law that says that.
Right here, what the township wrote.
No, that's a notation. That's somebody's handwriting. That's somebody's handwriting down there, right? Show me the state law that says you cannot touch it. Because what it says is you cannot disturb the wetlands. So if you remove it, you have to remove it in a way that doesn't disturb the wetlands. And maybe that's beyond your expertise or something.
Yes.
So you have a signed contract that has her signature where it said wood must remain there. And you're telling me it's a forgery. That's my signature, but he superimposed it. I never signed that, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of, I guess you were traveling somewhere in December, and there's a lot of text back and forth between you guys. According to you, you never even hired him. You have no idea why he trespassed and cut all those trees.
I had not completed my estimates to have him do the trees. So he went through another neighbor's yard over a 2-foot chain link fence into my yard. Anybody that was going to cut down those trees was supposed to come through my yard. He never gave me the permit. I never got the permit. When I called the office, they said Mr. Ken had picked up your permit. His office is across from the permit from the township. He said he's going to take the application to
For
the
free?
township for me.
For free?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Just for you, for free. For free. That people work for you for free. That's what happens in your life. People work for you for free.
No, he's not supposed to work for me for free. I'm supposed to get all the permit, and then, whoever is going to cut those trees, I'm going to have a date they can come.
Ms. Caroline, I am seeing texts from you back and forth where he is working for you. People don't work for free just because their office is near the permit office. That is ridiculous. Okay, so Friday the 27th is when you do the work. So you send her a text saying, we're all done at your house. I want to see if I can come by and pick up the check. And then what? Totally ghosts you, and she doesn't answer all of your next texts from then to January. Do you talk to her on the phone and tell her, why aren't you paying me? What's going on? Do you ever ask her what the deal is?
Yes, I tried to. We went there many a times. I tried to call her. And I know she goes out of town a lot, so I thought something happened to her because I must have did at least 10 or 15 jobs for her, and she always paid me. So I thought something happened to her, and then I waited and waited. Then that's when I took her to court because that's what.
Did she ever tell you I'm not going to pay you, or you just got tired of being ghosted?
Yep, no, she just ignored. She just didn't answer at all.
All right, now you have a counterclaim against him. Let's go back and take a look at your counterclaim. The counterclaim is for the $3,500. You have an estimate from another company to remove the stuff that on the bottom of the permit says you have to leave the wood there. And you have some evidence that you wanted me to see. ER visit due to traumatic events in my home. What's that about?
Mr. Mendez, his wife, constantly came to my house harassing me and banging on my door, and also took away my security sign. And one day, Mr. Mendez and his wife came and they threw a rock through my door, my stump door.
Okay.
On December.
And how did you happen to take? 13th, I have a picture of an ER ambulance out there. How did you have the foresight to take a picture of that ambulance? How did you take that picture?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Is it timber time in the courtroom? Let's find out.
Your Honor, I got panic attacks because they had come back, about 5 of them.
Why did you take a picture of the ambulance?
No, I took a picture of the ambulance just to show that I was being taken to the hospital. My doctor said, you need to go to the emergency room immediately.
And then you took a picture of the ambulance before you're walking into the ambulance? Because that's kind of strange, isn't it?
Those are
And then
just
this is a picture of you at... Okay, yeah, so you're creating evidence.
In the hospital.
Okay, so, right. And then this is a picture of you in the hospital, more pictures of you in the hospital. All right, let's go back. You said something about vandalism, so let's talk about that.
Yes.
What is this, your front door?
Yes, Your Honor.
What am I looking at there? What happened? Somebody threw a rock?
That's my front door. Yes, Your Honor.
And this is the window?
That's a storm door. The storm door was glass, and then the regular door.
And you think it was him? Why?
No, I saw, it's not I think I was him. I was downstairs, and the next thing I heard was a crash. I ran to the window, and I saw the wife driving off in her car.
Did you see him?
As I ran to the window to open my window, I saw him run into the wife's car. And
so you saw him and you saw her. Did you call the police?
Yes, I did.
Do you have a police report from that night?
I believe there's a police report. I don't have it right now.
Did your wife throw a brick through the window?
4. There are 4.
No.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't go to someone's house to collect. And anyway, what I've got to decide is one thing. If I find that you contracted with him to do the work he did and that you agreed to pay $2,000, and that you agreed that the wood had to stay there. If I believe those things, then you got to pay him his $2,000. And I've got to tell you, I believe those things for a variety of reasons. Number one, because I verified that, in fact, on the permit, the notes on the bottom are from the county or city or, you know, whatever town that you're in, where they say the wood has to stay exactly where it is. Number two, I don't buy your theory that, oh, he forged my signature because my signature was on the permit. I don't buy that because I think you're lying about it. I think you're lying because I've caught you lying, because you've told me 3 or 4 times how you never hired him, but we know you hired him because I've read all your texts. So I know that that signature is legit. So I am ordering you to pay him $2,000. I find that he didn't do anything deficient or wrong because he did exactly what the notation on the bottom says. And in your counterclaim against him for $3,500, I am not ruling in your favor because you have brought me 0 that would suggest that the job he did was wrong. The only evidence I have is what's on the bottom of that permit that says wood stays where it is. So he did nothing wrong, and I'm finding in his favor in the amount of the $2,000 and against you on the $3,500. That's my judgment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff prevails in this lawsuit. The defendant really does not get anywhere with what she claimed. Let's talk to her right now. Ms. Caroline, let me ask you, what do you think about what the judge just told you?
Well, I have to accept the judge's verdict, but I did not see the permit. The permit was not mailed to me. So that was when I said I needed my permit.
We can't litigate the case here anymore. You've told that to the judge. The judge has found that she didn't believe you. And not only did you lose your battle against him in his lawsuit, you lost your countersuit as well. So it was not a good day for you here in court. Okay? Sorry about that.
Thank you.
All righty, let's talk to Mr. Mendez. Mr. Mendez, I'm interested to know, what was your reaction when you heard her charge you for faking her signature?
I just laughed because I did so many other jobs for her. And to top it off, like if she wanted that stuff removed, I would have made more money. So, you know, there's no reason that I would have never, you know, leave something if, you know, every job I do, I try to do the best I can.
I don't guess she'll be hiring you again, or I guess you won't be working for her again. Let me ask you, that's that's a lot of lumber that you had to cut down there, a lot of trees. And you just leave it like that?
Yes, that's
very messy.
State, the DEP, yes, they are very, very strict with us. I mean, if we get caught out wearing our hard hats, we could get fined.
Well, congratulations. You're going to get your $2,000 finally, okay? You satisfied?
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Very good. All right, a very intriguing case. I'm really interested to know what the judges think about this. Let's join Judge Millian and her husband, Judge John, for another session of After the Verdict.
This case comes to you from New Jersey, the most populated state in the country and a state that's got tons and tons of wetlands. They have a coastal wetlands, they have inland wetlands, and they're way out in front on this wetland stuff. They do their own regulatory scheme. You don't have to go to the Army Corps of Engineers. They handle it, and you can't add or subtract anything from these wetland areas. And
you know, the underlying theory is that you can't disturb it. So maybe there's some professional out there who can do it without disturbing it, but apparently they're not letting him be that guy. So long as that's what she contracted for, the wood is going to stay there. I'm going to pay you $2,000, but cut down all these trees before they destroy my land, before they destroy my pool, my house, my fence. Then that is exactly what she contracted him for, so she's got to pay him.
And if you buy land that's either up against wetlands or is on wetlands, because some people buy homes and areas and property that are on wetlands, you better be aware that you're going to be stuck with these kinds of things.
Right, right. It's no surprise to her that that's what she bought.
Desiree asks, what's the most memorable story you have about Rusty the bailiff? Well, I will tell you that a long, long time ago, when I was actually young, I remember a case where there was a dispute over a grandfather clock, a really beautiful one. Rusty was trying to carry it, dropped it, and it just smashed to smithereens. And the look on his face, I will never forget.